there is a lesson that I've learnt over the years and from my own life experience. True self-transformation happens when we start to accept and love ourselves. And that is when we can start to change our perception and realise that there is nothing outside of us that's going to make us feel better. Many people get caught up believing that, if I earned more money, if I was just skinnier, if I was prettier, if I had, or whatever it is, the accumulation of things, that will make life better. And from my own experience, I have been skinnier, I have earned more money, and my social life has been a lot more filled than what it is today. And yet I feel happier now than I ever was. And back then, when I was in better shape and I was getting these opportunities and I was getting recognised for that, I never recognised it or accepted those compliments or the opportunities that came my way because I was stuck in this self-defeating mode, this self-sabotage. Nothing was ever good enough. I was so caught up with that negative voice in my head that I wasn't allowing myself to experience life and to fulfill the things that I really wanted to in life. So I feel for most part, we sometimes have two voices in our head, and we have that loving, higher conscious aspect of ourselves who will sit there and say, hey, look at this, look what you've done, you deserve this, go for it. Start to be authentic. This feels good to you. This is when our imagination goes wild and we can actually see and picture and visualize ourselves doing the things we really love and are passionate about. Then we can have this other little voice. And that other little voice is probably a lot more over concerned and can bring up the fears and the insecurities. And sometimes if that voice is stronger than the loving voice, this is what makes a lot of people stop themselves from truly living life and feeling that, once I pay off my mortgage, then I'll be happy. Once I lose 20 kilos, then I'll be happy. When I get that six-pack, then I'll be happy. But in actual reality, it doesn't make you any happier. And to sit there and say that, once I pay off, say, my mortgage as an example, then I'll be happy. So what are you going to do in the meantime? Be depressed and upset and angry? And, so we have to put it in perspective. And it is a very difficult dance, to start to take back control of our mind, because this is where we process everything. So if we're in constant conflict and if we're comparing ourselves or we're starting to compete, then this is where it makes life very difficult. So when we come to that stage of self-love, that's when self-transformation and fulfillment comes into our life. And when that happens, we start to naturally gear ourselves towards that which brings us joy, because we make that decision. And when we make that decision, then life just opens up a whole new world for us. And it doesn't even matter about our weight anymore or whatever, because we've already become more conscious. So we become more conscious, we're going to eat healthier, we've become more conscious, we're going to move and be more active. We understand that getting that promotion or having millions of dollars in our bank account's not going to make us happier. Sure, it'll make life easier, but it doesn't mean it's going to make us happier. So once we work on ourselves a little bit more, then we start to see the truth of what really does matter. And when you are able to actually do the things that you enjoy doing, then that's a type of abundance and inner wealth that money can't buy. And that can be really hard for a lot of people to wrap their heads around. That, most artists and creative people out there that do pursue the things they love, a lot of them aren't very wealthy, but they don't feel that they're lacking anything in life. Actually, they feel quite privileged that they are able to do what they love to do, even if they are getting by week. And most people look at them and will admire that, aspect of them and want to be a little bit like that themselves. So true transformation comes when we start to love ourselves. And in time, for most people, as we get older, we become a little bit more wiser. That more loving, conscious voice becomes a lot more stronger. And we find that we are, following our heart a lot more. And we're able to quieten the mind and that fear-based voice in our heads. And when that happens, we are living more authentically and life becomes a lot more amazing.